Hi, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photography talks. So today I'm going to talk about the future. I brought out my crystal ball. Oh, actually, I don't have a crystal ball. But if I did, I would be curious to see where the state of photography is in 10 years. I was at a thrift store, and they had a bunch of long Vivitar zoom lenses for old manual focus Minolta lenses for sale. And I thought, I wonder how many young people have never even seen one of those or held one of those, or even know what that is, or why you would put this long telescope on the front of your phone, why, or camera. What is it? And then there were racks of DVDs and CDs for sale, and it seems like those are growing in quantity at all the used sales. And is it because we have no use for anything plastic to hold this stuff? Why do we need to put that thing on plastic when we could just stream it? And the technology is changing so quickly right now. The camera manufacturers are making cameras, and I love when I was just at a tent sale at Mike's Cameras, which is one of the local camera stores here in Boulder, and people were, talking about how expensive film is. I bought a Nikon motor drive for a f2 camera for 20 bucks, but they didn't have that much use of. Most of it was new, and they had all this new Olympus and Panasonic and Nikon and Canon digital SLRs, and their micro four thirds and their mirrorless cameras for sale. And they were all saying, but how can you afford to shoot film? It's so expensive. As I'm looking at the price tags of $13.99 and $17.99 for these cameras, and I'm thinking, how do you see digital as not being expensive? But it's changing so quickly. And maybe in the future they'll be able to make a telephoto lens that can shoot a 400 millimeter f2.8 equivalent in your phone. But to me, I'm seeing and I'm wondering if in 10 years we're going to need photographers more than ever. Photographers are going to be so valued because if you know how to use a lens and use a camera, all the people now who are growing up are missing that whole stage of learning because they haven't picked one up. At one point, all we were doing with a phone is replicating what a point and shoot camera can do. But it can't shoot a bird photograph. It can't shoot sports. It can't shoot fashion with lighting. It's just a recording device. And as soon as you move to the past where everybody, for the most part, has no experience of something, then does that long telephoto lens have value? Because now you're, as a photographer, an asset because you know how to use focal length, you know how to use lighting. Or is it completely not that at all? It's like the phone will just do everything and all cameras will go away. I sometimes see like the market share of what different camera companies have in reports, and it's like they don't seem like they have that much. And it seems like people aren't buying cameras. They certainly were at that tent sale though. But maybe they were just enthusiasts buying cameras versus the majority who are just buying phones. But the idea of not ever holding a zoom lens or never holding a fixed prime lens or never focusing a actual physical lens, it's just beyond my comprehension. It's almost like, somebody saying, I can't remember life before a television. Well, I really can't. When I was growing up, television was prominent in our home. And I can't remember times before that, but other people who are older can. And then they'll say, oh, I can't remember life before a refrigerator. And then other people older than that said, well, we had an ice box. And they would deliver ice and put it inside the bottom of the box, and we had an ice box, and we didn't have a refrigerator. And everything changes. And the people now, the young people, they don't have any sense of where we've been and what we know. They just know internet's always been here, television's always been here, and phones are your camera. That's it. And it's an interesting study or prediction to say what will happen in 10 years. In 2029, what will the face of photography look like? And what will people be holding? What will people be shooting with? Will anybody be printing? I find that the absolute sheer number of photographs being made right now is the biggest threat to any photographs lasting, because find me a photo from 10 years ago that you shot of grandma and put on a computer hard drive somewhere. Find that. Can you? I'm betting most people couldn't. They'd have no idea where it is. But that's the important thing about photography. Is like, if you're not printing your photographs, well, where are we going with this? Is it just a record maker? I can snap a photo of the light post where my car is parked at the airport and I'll remember that. It's a great note taker. But where's photography going to go? What's actually going to be celebrated? And how are we going to make it? And who are the photographers going to be? All right, that's a question for you to answer in my comments below. All right, thanks so much for watching. That's today's Photography Talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. I love talking photography. All right, we'll talk some more. Here's the good light.